Hello, this is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. Thank you so much for joining us today on our web talk. And we're just so glad that you have chosen to even listen to us. We thank you for sharing our journey with us, and it has really been a journey. But I want to tell you something really quick, and I just want to talk about what happened to me over the Christmas holiday. Christmas was a couple days ago, and I had already made my plans of what I was going to do because I was tired and I was going to do this, that, and the other, just stay home and just have a quiet evening, watch some Christmas movies and something like that. But anyway, what happened was my niece had told me, she said, Aunt Dorcas, I want to take you somewhere on Christmas. And so, because I had already made my plans with what I was going to do, and I wanted to know where she was going to take me. And she told me she wanted to take me to see the lights. And I said, oh, I was just asking God. I said, man, I sure would like to go and see, some Christmas lights. But little did I know that these were different kind of lights. And so I was asking her about, what it was that we were going to go see. And so she said she didn't want to tell me everything. She was telling me that she paid for it. I'm like, you're paying to see lights, And so I didn't know what it was. But I'm telling you, that experience that I had the other night has changed my life. But I want to just go back just a little bit because we're going to be talking about forming new memories. Um, you know, um, I used to work in at my school, and so Dr. Burnett, he had domestic violence business, and so when he would go out of town, he would always call for me to come and teach his classes while he's gone. So he said, Dorcas, he said, now, the state, they can come in, you're not going to know who they are, but they come in, they look like everybody else. And so we went through that, and I said, okay. And so I remember this incident that I want to share because I believe it's leading up to where I'm going. And so he went on vacation, and I'm teaching his class since for three weeks, and they're court mandated, so you got to go exactly by what the state has their outline. So anyway, I'm teaching, and I can't remember all the classes that I've taught for him while he'd be on vacation, and I would be juggling between my school and what he needed me to do. And so this particular day, I'm up and I'm teaching, and I'm talking about being rigid. And I remember that lesson plan so vividly in my mind because I remember how the men, boy, they were just coming at me. Now you have to remember, I'm a woman. We're doing domestic violence, so a lot of the men, they're having problems with women anyway. So anyway, we're in there and we're just having this we're going, we're having this good conversation, and they're shooting questions at me, and I'm going back with them about being rigid, not wanting to bend. It's got to be this way all the time. And that's what a rigid person is. And so we were just going, and I mean, we were having a good conversation because all the men were interacting and shooting questions to me. And God was allowing me to shoot them back. We were just having a good time. And little did I know that the state was sitting up in there that particular day. So then, when Dr. Burnett comes back off of his vacation, he calls me and he said, Dorcas, I'm back. He said, I'd like for you to come over to my office if you get a chance. And I said, okay. I had some classes going. I said, but I'll be over. It'd probably be later on. So anyway, I went over there and he said, Dorcas. And I said, yeah. He said, the state came in on us. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I said, on what class? And he said, when you were teaching about being rigid. Oh, Lord. That was the class that those men were really fired up. And he said, but this is the thing. The state liked the way you handled the situation and the way that the men were interacting, because they really can't get men to really interact or say how they feel. And so the state had told them that whoever that lady was teaching that class, she got those men going and they really had a good conversation. So anyway, I never forgot that. And so here I am in 2017, and I'm laying in the bed about 2 weeks ago, and I don't know why that incident came to my mind again about being rigid. So that was something that I never ever wanted to be. After I studied that lesson and went and taught that lesson and seen how people were not willing to change, I thought, no, Dorcas will never ever be rigid. But then as time progressed and things come in our lives, we don't really know what we're going to do. So when I'm laying in there about 2 weeks ago, I was asking God, am I becoming rigid? I mean, am I not pliable? Am I not willing to bend? I mean, am I getting set in my ways and don't want to change? And even, if you know you're wrong, you don't want to change. And I don't know why I thought about that lesson. So I knew I had to start doing something different. I had already made my Christmas plans. I had already bought my healthy choice. I knew that I wasn't going to do what I did Thanksgiving. That was not going to happen again. So I had everything planned. So then when my niece wanted to change my plans, she knew nothing about my plan. But when she wanted to change them, the first thing I was like, eh. And then I thought about that lesson again. Are you rigid? And then I said, no, no. And so I told her, I said, okay, yeah, we're going to go. I'll go. So I went to this place off of the I-17. I mean, it's got all these lights, symphony of lights. It's not houses. It's just lights. And I mean, I was so overwhelmed. Not overwhelmed, but I enjoyed myself so much, because just to see the way the mind works and the creativity of God and how he puts things in people's mind, and the lady says to us, she said, turn on your radio to this station, and when you turn on the radio, the lights and the music is saying and going at the same beat. Wow! I was fascinated by what I was seeing. I was fascinated by the lights. And I was looking around and just seeing how the mind really works, and I can go into a building and I'm looking at the architectural structure. I like creation. I like to see how people's mind work, and so I had a wonderful time. But what happened to me at that light show was something sparked inside of me that I was like, wow. Wow. I mean, and that's all even though I was sitting there and the kids were in the back and, we were just having a good time. But in my mind, I just saw something deeper than lights. I saw a mind that could just create something like that. I mean, it's almost like, Steve Jobs, Apple, and so anyway, when we went on around and we went to the thing, and so when we got to the thing, the kids wanted to get out, and so we stayed in the car, and I so wanted to get out. I wanted to tell my niece Gidget, let's get out. I just felt like something different had happened on the inside of me. I can't even explain it. But anyway, so we stayed in the car. The kids went out and they came back, when we came back, and then we left and everything. When I came home, I was so energized by what I seen. Like I tell you, something sparked on the inside of me. And so, anyway, I'm taking a class online, some classes online. And there's a neurosurgeon a neuroscientist, I'm sorry, that's teaching this class. And at first I said, this is a day after Christmas. You know, she's boring and I don't know what she's talking about, and she talked too fast, and I'm trying to take notes and I can't keep up with her. I'm going to take something else. But then in my mind, it was like, you need to go back because you need to try to understand what she's doing and what she's saying because she's taking you somewhere. So I went back and I started listening to her again, and it was like you can always click pause. So I kept clicking pause and writing down all the parts of the brain, and some of the parts of the brain I already knew. But I mean, she was speaking from, she's a scientist. I mean, and you could tell that she's a scientist. I mean, she knows exactly, she can tell you everything, you know, down the middle and left, right, and all that other stuff. And I knew about left, right, and down the middle. But there was so much other stuff that I didn't know about. And so this is where I got this topic from, because we're going into a new year, forming new memories. So as she talked about the different parts of the brain and gave out all these different names of the brain, then she went into what the functions of those names were. And then that's where it really caught my attention, because she started talking about the neuron cells of the brain and how that you can make new memories. And I just was fascinated by that. And she began to talk about different things about memory. And she told us a story about how her dad has dementia. And she just told her story. And it really starts sinking in what she was talking about. But this is where I want to go. She was talking about making new memories and doing something new, something different. And she was saying, like, these are some of the examples, like eating in the dark, sight, smelling your food, the sense of smell. You know, and I mean, she listening to music that you've never listened to, sound. But she was telling all the different parts of the brain. The brain is so incredible. And so when she was talking about forming new memories, I said, wow, for 2018, that's what I want to do. Because it's so powerful for the brain to create something new inside of you. And something new inside of me. So I'm laying in the bed and you know, my exercising, you know, I'm doing it and I'm just doing it. At first, and like I told you, I think last time, I was really excited, but and I'm still excited. I'm still wanting to do what I'm doing, but the fire has gone out. And you got to do something different. So I said, wow. My doctor had said, okay, about me walking for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and to start walking more. And so this is what I said. You know, I'm going to create a new memory so my brain can function in a better way. You know, yesterday was good, and the things that I accomplished down through my life, they were good. But this time, I want to do something different. I said, you know what? And I'm on a walker, and I've told that before, and the walker doesn't have a seat, and I have a walker that has a seat, but somebody broke it, and so I just have a walker that don't have a seat. So I said, I'm going outside. I'm going to call my doctor and see if she'll write a prescription for me to get a walker to walk outside. I want to feel the air. I want to see the sun. I'm telling you, something happened in my mind to let me know that shift it. Shift the focus. Change. Yeah, all these things have happened to you. Let those memories, they're not going nowhere. But you can't keep staying there. You got to do something different. So I said, even if I can only walk a little ways, I'm going to walk. And I'm walking in my house because as soon as she told me I'm trying to walk in my house, I'm trying to do different things, but I want to go outside and feel the breeze. I'm telling you. And so then I'm laying in the bed this morning and I said, okay, you eat the same thing over and over. Rigid. That's being rigid. And I was like, what about some Brussels sprouts? Brussels sprouts. Now, I've never even ate Brussels sprouts. I don't even know if I don't like them. But guess what? I don't like them because I don't like the way they look. So I said, I'm going to get some Brussels sprouts. I'm going to get some asparagus. I'm going to do some things different with my cooking because now I'm forming new neuron cells in my brain. I hope you get where I'm going. There's things in our life that may have hindered us, but it's time to do something new. So then I'm thinking about my exercise. You gotta get up out the bed. The bed was for then, but what are you gonna do now? You say you want to go to the gym, but you got to get up in order to go to the gym. So I have to move my gym from my bed to either in my living room or in my office. And it's probably going to be somewhere in my living room. And I was thinking, but I don't want my equipment out in the living room. And it's not really no equipment. It's just stuff I use for my hands and things like that. But I just don't know where I'm going to move it. So when I'm thinking about forming new cells in my brain, I'm thinking about every month I'm going to do something new. It could be really simple. And I said, you know what I want to do? I want to clean out from behind my refrigerator. So I'm going to ask my nephew to come over here and move the refrigerator. But I want to clean it out from behind it. Now that's one thing. So I've set goals. I'm going to change around my living room. I'm going to take my smart TV out of my bedroom and put it in the living room. Now, there's a TV in the living room, but I'm going to take the TV that's in the living room and put it in my office. I'm not going to have a TV in my bedroom. I'm going to change my bedroom around. I'm going to create my atmosphere by what I'm thinking. And I realize, Dorcas, do you realize that all the years that you've been going through what you've been going through and crying your eyes out because you refused to take medication, the only thing you really were trying to do was protect your mind because I knew better than anybody else that there was a war going on in my mind. And because I have tried with the help of God to protect my mind, now it's time to go. It's time to get up. And I hope that I'm inspiring you to do something different this year. Something that you've never did before. Now, I like my house a certain way. So my house it's not the way that I would have it. And I thank God for everybody that have worked for me and helped me and all of that. And I still need people to work for me and help me. And I get that. But there are certain things that I believe that God is going to let me get up and do them because I want to do them the way that I like them done. And I thank God that He caught me before I got so rigid, so stuck in my ways, so that I wouldn't change. Don't get stuck. That's why you got to keep fighting. We have to fight for what we want. And I thank God that I just kept fighting until I reached this day. And if I just have one more day, which I believe I have more, I'm grateful for what I've learned. And every teacher that have ever taught me anything, I'm grateful. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the lights. I'm grateful for my niece, Gidget, inviting me to the lights. Because I'm telling you, a flame of fire have been rebirthed in me to realize, Dorcas, you got purpose. Dorcas, you are creative. Dorcas, your mind, your mindset, the way you feel about people, the things that are in you, they're still in you. They're still there. I don't want to cry. But I'm telling you, I'm hoping we're coming into a new year. Let's not stay the way we were. Just try to find something new. I have goals now, and I'm going to put them for every month. So I said, you know what? Next year when I do my calendars, I want to do them different because I want to make sure that we're not just looking at a calendar, but we need to write down goals and we need to form new memories. New memories. Yeah, it's good to live on the old, kinda. But it's time for us to move to new memories. You might have a family, do something new. And I'm telling you, by Gidget allowing me to go with them, she paid the price. She paid the money. We went in, and I'm telling you, it was worth every dime. Sometimes we don't know why we go where we go or somebody invite us, but it's simply because God is ordering our footsteps because there's something else that He wants us to see. Hey, this is Dorcas Chandler at Dorcas Gazelle, wishing you and your family and your loved ones a new year. A new year. How is it going to be a new year? You're going to have to, Dorcas is going to have to form new memories. Hey, let's do it together. Thank you for joining me with my journey in 2017. Wow, what a way to end. You be blessed. I love you, Dorcas Chandler.